Hi everybody, it's Kathleen. I'm excited to be back in the kitchen with you. I hope you've had a great summer. Today we're going to make delicious apple oatmeal raisin cookies from Forks Over Knives, and this is one of my favorite vegan cookie recipes right now. So the first thing we're going to do is smash one banana, and I am doubling the recipe. I'll put it in the comments, and the link to Forks Over Knives will just be for a single batch, so you'll know that. So we're doing one full banana instead of half a banana, and I've already been smashing it, and this is kind of in lieu of the egg. And I'm preheating the oven at 350. So we're doing our wet ingredients first. After you mash your banana really good, we are gonna shred some apple in a food processor. And what you're gonna do is take one big apple, and just cut it into quarters with the skin down. And I'm not super savvy with a food processor either, so you're gonna use this different attachment also. Well, I'll show you here in a second. Let's go ahead and get these going. And it's gonna be about a cup. We can either snack on those later. Okay. And then we're gonna put it in our bowl. So I'm just gonna pick out the chunks. This may be a little light, but we're gonna go ahead and go with it. So you can't omit the apple, but I'll tell you what, I think the apple is what really makes it. It's gonna have apple and peanut butter, or any nut butter that you want. And it really is a great combination of flavors. So I'm gonna get this out of our way, and I'll show you this attachment. Okay, so it's like a T. Whoops, excuse me. Like that, instead of the traditional. All right, and then we're gonna add the peanut butter. So it's a half a cup of peanut butter, creamy, not crunchy. Now you could use almond butter, which would be amazing. If you're allergic to either one of those, you could do sunflower butter. I got my Spurtle. My friend gave me these Spurtles, so I'm not clanging spoons into my metal measuring cups anymore. Thank you to those who suggested it. And then I got gifted one set. Okay. Then it is sweetened with maple syrup, because Forks Over Knives recipes do not use regular refined sugar. So we're gonna do a half a cup of maple syrup. Then it calls for a couple tablespoons of plant milk. I am just gonna use some water, and I'm gonna start small. I'm just gonna start with one. I can, excuse me, add more if it's too dry once we add the dry ingredients. And then we're gonna add some vanilla. I've added 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and this is from Costco. Before you use it, you wanna give it a good shake. Okay, and that's it for our wet ingredients. I'm just gonna set that aside, and now we're gonna do our dry ingredients. So you can use 1 cup of your favorite gluten-free flour or regular flour if you're not gluten-free. And what I've been doing lately is I just been buying organic whole oats at the health food store and blending them into flour, and that's been my latest gluten-free flour. Then we're also gonna add 2 cups of full oats, whole oats, not quick oats. Okay, just a couple other dry ingredients here. We've got a half a teaspoon of baking soda, not baking powder. Make sure we get that. And a half a teaspoon of salt, or you could leave the salt out if you don't do salt. All right, and then cinnamon. Lots of cinnamon. You can use 2 to 4 teaspoons of cinnamon, or just 1 big fat tablespoon. It's up to you, but I like a lot of cinnamon. Again, this is Kirkland's big ground cinnamon, and I'm gonna do 4 because that also gives it a little extra sweet. Do that one better. Okay. Then let me grab a different spoon here. Just give that a quick stir. And we're almost done, which is great. You can really smell the apple. So we got apple cinnamon, maple syrup, peanut butter joy going on here. And now we're gonna add, it's a little easier to add the dry to the wet. And then you can see if you need another tablespoon of plant milk. I would do an unflavored plant milk, not vanilla or chocolate or anything like that, just to be safe. And let's see how we're doing here. So full of all kinds of amazing nutrients and plant-based fiber. So most people ask when you're vegan, where do you get your protein? And I always encourage people to say, well, where do you get your fiber? Because all plant-based foods have some form, traces of protein, but meat, dairy, and eggs have zero fiber. So that's something people don't think about who are eating animal products. So this is full of the apple, the oats, and we're gonna actually, once we get that going, which is looking good, I don't think, I could add more water, but I think it's okay. I'm gonna add in a cup of raisins and we're just gonna stir those in. And you can go more. The recipe does call for 1 cup, so I didn't double the raisins. I just did 1 cup of raisins. Okay, and feel free to ever, leave a comment or a question. I've been vegan for over 20 years. I've done a lot of cooking. My husband, Wade, who has some videos on our channel, he's been vegan for almost 20 years. So we cook nonstop for each other. So we've had a lot of experience in the kitchen. We're not professional chefs, but we have been vegan a long time. So feel free to ask anything you need help with. All right, I think that's looking good. Let me get my stuff out of the way, and we're gonna move over here. And we're gonna use a cookie scoop. I'm not gonna do this all on camera, but I just love this little cookie dough scoop. And you can round it out a little bit too if you want to with your hands, but this one's kind of wet, so let me move this over so you can see better. Now the recipe encourages you can take like a wet spatula, this is from the rice cooker, with a little bit of water and spread them out. I actually don't ever do it that way. I just cook them a couple minutes shorter than the recipe calls for. Like this recipe says 12 to 14. So at minute 12, I'll just go in there with a fork and kind of press them down. So they're not little buns. They're a little flatter, but feel free to try the wet spatula and make them flatter into a flatter cookie and see if that is more to your liking. All right, so I'm gonna keep scooping. They are gonna cook 12 to 14 minutes. Check them at 12 and see what you think, because everybody likes their cookies different. Some people like them chewy, some people like them crispy, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, the cookies are done and they smell delicious. I wanted to mention that you wanna put down parchment paper or something, or this silicone mat so they don't stick. And they do look a little brown because of the maple syrup and the peanut butter, but I promise they're delicious. So again, at around minute 12, I just went in and smashed them with my fork and got them flat and let them cook for 2 more minutes. So let me know what you think. I hope you enjoy them. And thank you so much for watching. And thank you for all the new subscribers. And most importantly, thank you for saving animals with your food choices.